Edo Museum of West African Art, because as far as we are concerned, the records we have, the documents we have, and the certificate of occupancy that we have reads Edo Museum of West African Art. The fact that the previous governor, when he was leaving office November 8, had to change the name to Museum of West African Art made us to smell a rat. And smelling that rat, we have now confirmed quite a number of things. From the beginning of MOA, the project was a state government project. The quantity surveyor submitted to ESCO the bill of quantities and
the executive council.
Yes, council.
Right.
The bill of quantities, what it will take to build the pavilion of the museum. The commissioner then wrote and submitted to ESCO, seeking for ESCO approval to release funds. Out of 4.1 billion naira earmarked to complete that pavilion of the museum, Edo State spent 3.8 billion.
So you have evidence that that money was actually released.
Evidence, black and white.
Because a lot of the money we're hearing that they have came from foreign donors.
No, those foreign donors will need to ask Obaseki and his lieutenants.
Obaseki is the former governor.
The former governor.
Yeah.
They will need to go and ask him where they spend that money. Because the records we have, there are memos signed by commissioners and presented to council, that's the executive council. Approvals were granted. At times 800 million, at times 600 million, at times 1 billion, everything sum up to 3.8 billion.
Yeah, but you know that when foreign countries give monies to a country like Nigeria for a project, they're very, very fastidious in monitoring where that money goes. And it wasn't just the French government gave money, the German government, I mean, they have said they gave money. MacArthur Foundation gave money, Ford Foundation gave money, and they have very strict monitoring procedures. Are you saying that those monies were simply frittered away and nobody monitored it?
They will need, that is why we are carrying out, further investigation. They will need to go and ask those who are running MOA now, and not a MOA, what happened to their donations. But as far as we are concerned with the records we have, in fact, even with the Corporate Affairs Commission, the document is reading Edo Museum of West African Arts. And so anybody who is claiming they spend money, they need to ask here Nacho, Philippe here Nacho, and Barrister Chioke.
That's the people who are running
the MOA now. What happened to our funds? Because the bill of quantities and everything that we have with us.
Well, it's up to you to. I mean, you're the government in Edo State, so you will have to see whether you ask.
No, that's why we have set up a committee. Right. They will also have interface with the donors.
What about the allegation from the PDP that you guys sent protesters or thugs, depending on which side of the fence you're in, to go and disrupt that event? Let
me give you this scenario, Charles. Edo State is a core investor, so to speak, the real funder of that pavilion. Now, you are going to present, a preview on a Sunday. You didn't inform the state government that spent 3.8 billion.
So you disrupted it?
No, we're not. We didn't. I'm just telling you that tempers have been high. People are conscious of what's happening. The Oba has been, insulted in one way or the other. It appears Obaseki deceived the Oba, promised him October 20, 2018 that he was going to build a Benin museum for him. 3 years set aside for completion, and after 3 years, we just started hearing another museum, for which even Obasan was initially included, and later they removed him. So all of these are part of what propelled the kind of anger that you are seeing in Edo that may have warranted protesters going there.
But let me
finish this point. Yeah. Now you are doing a preview. You didn't invite. We were number one in their plaque, in their order of those who donated. Number one, they wrote us. I have the plaque. We have the plaque, everything. Now you didn't invite us. You didn't inform us. You choose 9 a.m. on a Sunday when people will be in church. Then you now quickly brought your so-called donors, and you are doing preview with them without the nucleus of that particular arrangement. This is the Edo State government.
So you were not the one. You're not the people who sent the people to disrupt.
No, we couldn't have sent doctors. Why would you send?
But let me ask you this then: do you find it, at the very least, embarrassing for your government and bad optics for Edo State, under the watch of Governor Bebelo, that the guests, including top foreign diplomats, that came to Benin City to be part of the elevation of West African art, had to be evacuated by security operatives because the museum came under attack? Do you feel tarnished by that at all?
We don't feel tarnished, because I expected some of those persons who participated, if they are conscious of the fact that there's a state government in place, they ought to have reached out to us that they were coming to attend an event, a preview on a Sunday, by the time everybody will be in church. Like the governor was in Auchi attending the church program in Auchi, the Catholic harvest and all of that. He wasn't aware.
But I understand that the ambassadors, and this is coming from the ambassadors, that they informed the Edo State government weeks before that they were coming, and you still failed to secure the place.
No. When they say they are coming, we are aware of the opening. Opening was set for November 11. November 12 was set aside for 365 days in office of Governor Monday Ukpebolo. So they didn't tell us anything about preview. We were not aware of preview on a Sunday. We had 4 of the ambassadors in audience after the event. On Monday, 9 a.m. in Government House. They came and they expressed their misgivings about that. But when they listened to our explanation, I think they were better informed by what we told them.
Okay.
Because there's some kind of sinister motive about that.
Well, the PDP says you're the ones who have the sinister motive. But can you clarify whether Governor Bebelo has revoked the land title granted to that mower in Benin City?
Not mower. We have revoked the title.
So you have revoked the land?
We have revoked the title granted to a mower. You have to get it right. Edo Museum of West African
Christ,
Art.
what a headache, eh?
Yes. Edo Museum of West African Art. Some people were trying to be smart, clever by half, by changing the name.
So basically, you revoked the land.
We have revoked the land.
Right,
and we are trying to conscript them within a certain geographical area. Yeah. Because the land they took was quite massive. And that land belongs to the Central Hospital in Benin, which they demolished ab initio, demolished the mortuary, and turned that place to a museum. And the governor said, people need to be well.
Yeah, but do you see that museum mower as an institution that was poised to celebrate the proud art and culture of the people of West Africa, to give Nigeria global significance, but has now degenerated, you're laughing, has now degenerated into a political dispute between previous and current state governments?
You know why I'm laughing? Because when you are trying to build a house, and you are not footing your foundation very well in terms of how you should situate your foundation, you are bound to have this issue of this crisis. You cannot deceive the Oba of Benin, promising before everybody, 2 former presidents, Jonathan and Godwin, Sultan of Sokoto, and quite a number of dignitaries, on that October 20, telling him that you have had meeting with Benin Dialogue Group, that you are going to build a museum within 3 years.
So you've revoked.
Now, within that 3 years, you have come up with a museum called Edo Museum of West African Art. 3 days to your exit, you change the name to Museum of West African Art. For what purpose? And who are the people running it? Obaseki staff in Afri-Invest.
So what are you going to do to that museum now?
We are the owner of the museum.
You revoked the land. What are you going to do to the museum? Are you going to knock it down? What are you going to do?
We're not knocking it down at all.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
We're not knocking it down.
Because I would have been quite worried.
We are the owners.
So you're going to take over.
We'll take over the museum. Yeah, because we spent money, Edo taxpayers' money, 3.8 billion out of 4.1 billion that was set aside to build it.
Well,
whatever money any donor agency has contributed, any foreign country has contributed, they should ask those who are running it there, where is our money? What did you spend it on? That is what we are saying. We are not pretending about this, because we have been given too many names. When in our search further, we went to the CAC and we saw the chicken came home to roost. Everything was exposed. Why do you have to bring your staff from Afri-Invest to be running a museum that is meant for West African art? Who are the people that are there? Can you be talking about museum in Benin City or Edo State without the kingdom? Or you're talking about Benin Kingdom without the kingdom? or you remove the crown and you say you want to display that yes, this is a museum for West African arts. Who's West Africa? How many West African arts did they preview on that day? Who are the people who are running it? How many of them are West Africa? They are all the Afro-Invest people, 80% of them.
Well, there is a suggestion that your government might have lost public support as a result of the way that you've handled or bungled this issue of MOA. You just got to look at the reactions on social media. What's your reaction to that?
If you want to govern by mass hysteria, you will enter into the forest. Nobody governs using social media opinions that are easily doctored in beer parlor and palm wine centers like Obaseki is doing in Glasgow. So what we do, we have our own source of information, we have the security apparatus and all of that, and we know those we consult when we want to take decisions. We do a lot of consultations, and the king, the governor, is in consultation with the king and quite a number of stakeholders in Edo State. As much as we want a museum to be in Edo, it should not be one that is fraught with fraud, and all kinds of financial malfeasance. We make bold to say this because the 3.8 billion that was spent on that place is Edo State taxpayers' money. Well, you cannot surreptitiously and subterraneously, midway, 3 days to your exit from power, change the name because you want to benefit from it.
I'm sure we haven't heard the last of this.
You have not heard the last, but I'm telling you that we are going to take charge of MOA and we will appoint our own people based on the resources we have spent there to run that place and accord respect to the Oba of Benin because we don't joke with him.
Okay, well, keep us updated. Prince Kasima Febua is the Commissioner for Information and Strategy in Edo State. Thank you very much indeed. Good to